I used to be enough. Hello and welcome to an episode of Decoded and Derailed. My name is Jonathan, I am your host. This script was written by Lewis, and today, business cards, the ancient relic we're still weirdly carrying on about. This idea came around because my girlfriend works in business development type thing and she carries around business cards, and I was surprised that people actually still use business cards. Anyway.
Oh my god! Wow!
Business cards. Yes, those tiny little paper rectangles that corporate people use to flick at each other like Pokemon cards. Except instead of a Charizard, you get Greg, Regional Sales Associate. Poor Greg.
Greg! Hey, Gregory!
Business cards used to be essential. They were prestige. They were networking currency. They were the thing you dramatically slid across the table during every meeting. They were the thing you...
You can't even speak.
Yes, I can!
They were the thing you dramatically slid across the table during every meeting to say, look at me, I'm a serious professional who can afford printing. But now, they're a relic, a fossil, an endangered species kept alive mostly by real estate agents and dentists. Let's talk about how we got here. Chapter 1, the rise of the little card that thought it was important. It's hard to believe, but there was a time in the 1980s and 90s when business cards were basically the corporate equivalent of oxygen. You went to a not a ceasefire.
What did he say?
You went to a conference and left with 200 brochures, 14 tote bags, 3 stress balls, and enough business cards to wallpaper your house. They were tiny trophies, proof that you had networked, proof that you were out being a good professional, shaking hands, drinking terrible coffee, and pretending to care about Janet's supply chain solution. Back then, handing someone your business card was like saying, I exist, here's written evidence. Yeah, they weren't really a thing when I started working. They kind of phased out. Still, some people use them. I recently met a Google executive and he gave me a business card. And I was like, hell, still use them.
Alright, enough chit-chat.
But as with everything, technology has other plans. Smartphones showed up in the 2000s, kicked down the door and said, why are you carrying little pieces of dead tree around with you when you could just save someone's number? And business cards collectively went, oh no, we might be in trouble. Suddenly, contact info could just be exchanged in 2 taps. LinkedIn existed, calendars synced automatically, and nobody wanted to carry around 50 cards like an overworked Pokemon trainer. Worst of all, your phone didn't require a card holder, a washing machine rescue mission, or a drawer where old business cards go to die alongside spare batteries and half-dried pens. Jesus. The digital age didn't just replace business cards, they embarrassed them. Then came 2020, the year when humans collectively decided touching things was dangerous and saying hello required a 2 meter buffer zone.
Coronavirus!
Business cards suddenly became what scientists called a rectangular germ transmission device. Alright. You try to hand someone a card and they'd recoil like you just offered them a biohazard conferences. Sorry. You try to hand some...
Yeah, I don't speak. It's my first time speaking in front of people.
You try to hand someone a card and they recoil like you just offered them a biohazard. Conferences went online, Zoom replaced hotel lobbies, QR codes became a new way to show you're trustworthy, and business cards went into hibernation, waiting for someone to remember they existed. Spoiler, no one did. Then came digital business cards, which sound fantastic but are basically glorified fancy links. You tap your phone against someone else's phone and bam, your details appear. Just like magic, except less impressive because it's 2025 and we expect technology to be borderline sorcery. Companies started making NFC business cards, QR business cards, virtual business cards, smart cards that do everything except your taxes. And traditional business cards just sat there quietly whispering, I used to be enough. Now let's talk about Mother Nature because she had opinions. The average professional used to distribute hundreds of business cards per year. Multiply that by millions of professionals and you get an entire rainforest. Think about it, you print 500 cards, you hand out 42, 458 live forever in your desk drawer until you move house and throw them out. Eco-conscious companies started asking, do we really need to destroy trees so Steve can give someone his email address? Answer, absolutely not. Sustainability became another nail in the coffin for business cards because nothing says modern ethical business like not handing people unnecessary paper. He says while reading off of paper. Let's be brutally honest, when someone gives you a business card, what do? You do one of the following. Put it in your pocket, forget it's there, find it in the washing machine 3 days later, throw it away, take a photo of it, then throw it away, pretend to keep it but secretly throw it away, or keep it in your wallet until it's basically soft, sad origami. No one keeps business cards, no one organizes business cards, no one builds a thriving professional relationship because of one. It is 2025. We remember people by adding them on LinkedIn and then ignoring their content for the next 8 years. That's the modern way. Too true. Despite all of this, few professionals cling on to the business cards. They like their emotional support objects. They are like their emotional support objects. Real estate agents, car salespeople, lawyers who love the sound of their own little title, wedding photographers, and anyone over the age of 55 who still says fax. That's with an X. These are the last offenders of the little paper rectangles, the business card cult, if you will. They argue it looks professional, it makes an impression, it's personal. But customers have changed. They don't want paper, they want QR codes, instant contact sharing, easy calendar access, clickable social media links, and 0 pieces of paper they'll definitely lose. The world moved on, business cards didn't. Even before they became obsolete, business cards were always a bit weird. 2 adults would meet, introduce themselves, then perform a ritualistic swapping of printed rectangles like corporate Pokemon trainers. I choose you, Mike from finance. In Japan, the business card exchange is actually an entire ritual, a ceremony, etiquette with etiquette and respect. In the West, it's usually someone awkwardly fumbling in their wallet for a bank card, while the other person politely pretends this is normal. Business cards never made sense, but tradition kept them alive. That tradition is now fading faster than Blockbuster memberships. If business cards were honest, they'd say things like, you'll lose this within 24 hours, you're going to take a picture of me instead, you'll add me on LinkedIn and never speak to me again, this card has no impact on your future success, or why am I still printed? Someone explain. Business cards pretend to be important, but the reality is the only reason they're still printed is because printing companies need to stay alive. So, what happens next? Will business cards disappear completely? Probably not. Humans love tradition, even outdated ones, but it's clear digital sharing is faster, contact apps are more efficient, online profiles matter more, and paper is inconvenient. Nobody wants to carry 200 tiny rectangles all day. Business cards won't vanish overnight, but they will become a niche item, a novelty, something we look at one day and say, remember when people used to print these? How adorable. Like phone books, DVDs, fax machines, or the idea of working in an office full time. Yeah, fuck that. And that, my outdated friend, is the story of the business card, once the king of networking, now an awkward uncle at a party that no one knows what to do with. It's not dead, but it's definitely retired, living quietly in the drawers, wallets, and pockets of suits worn only for weddings and funerals. And that's it. If you enjoyed this episode, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.